During the last few years, we've ventured into a lot of different fields, and we've had the opportunity to meet and work with a lot of wonderful people. I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that it was all started by a mouse.
Congratulations, Mr. Mickey Mouse. Congratulations to you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Walt Daily. This is episode 54. And for those that don't know us by now, we are a Disney couple. One of us is a Disney fanatic, and one of us is not. Or as I usually am now saying, one of us is Disney challenged.
Yes.
But somehow we've made a way to make this relationship work.
Yes. Episode 54.
And we're hoping to start our IGTV channel.
Yes, we are hoping with the revelation that IGTV has now been released. Hopefully there will be another way to bring our Disney stuff to everyone.
Yes. So now you just hopefully will be able to watch the podcast on Instagram, which is pretty crazy to think about.
That is really crazy.
The
You can
entire
upload an
podcast.
hour video onto
Yeah.
Instagram.
It's pretty wild.
What? How?
So, although that was kind of like a headline, but it wasn't Disney. Headlines!
Okay, first headline. It has been spotted. The Disney gondola cars have been spotted on Walt Disney World property.
In the air or on ground?
No, on the ground, on the back of
Okay.
the truck.
Oh, cool. That's on Instagram?
It's online.
Okay.
Yes.
It's online.
I saw it on the WDWNT, the website. And the crazy thing, I wasn't really sure because I know that gondolas, like the first way I was familiar with them was like at ski resorts. It looks exactly like a ski resort gondola.
Really?
It's so crazy.
I'm sure it's the same company.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah, like companies or, whatever the case may be.
Well,
so
I guess
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because that would be like reassuring because those gondolas like travel very, very high up into the air and for long distances as well. So if they are in charge of this, that would be very good for Disney, I guess.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really much design on the outside. It was the car that they showcased was red, and it had almost like a reflective mirror looking window, which who knows? I don't know if it was covering or not. Like
So the car was red, though?
it was red.
That's pretty cool.
The base color, yeah. So we'll see how that theming plays out.
Hopefully it'll be like different colors like how the monorails are, where they have like different colored accents.
I know. They probably will because, I mean, you figure they have to refer to them like, oh, gondola black
Yeah.
is gone down. Well, yeah.
Has gone down.
Well, or is
violent.
is coming to the station.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it sounds like it crashed.
No, that's the way you thought of it. You thought it's not in operation.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, next headline. The Incredibles 2, a movie you might be familiar with, I don't know, that you may have heard of. We haven't seen it yet. Is no longer number one at the box office. And it's its second week.
Yeah.
You know who it lost to? Jurassic Park. Or Jurassic World, I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't know another one came out.
I know, neither did I.
Nice. That's what I was wondering. We stopped watching TV not too long ago, so maybe we haven't seen commercials.
Yeah. Well, we should tell everyone the reason why we stopped watching TV was because we downgraded our cable because our cable bill was too much.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous the prices those people freaking charge. And we could just stream everything now.
Yeah,
So.
technically.
Yeah. Shout out Apple TV.
So, although I do want to see The Incredibles 2 soon, I don't want to fight the crowds in order to do it now that we're at that point. But it's so hard to avoid spoilers, and I don't want to see the Rotten Tomatoes review at all.
Oh, you don't even know what it's scored?
I don't even know. Don't even look at me like that. I don't know if you know.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, good.
That's pretty cool though, that you don't know.
That way we can go in with an unbiased mind.
Yeah.
Like just, although people have been saying like on Instagram that it's amazing, so that's good, fine, but I don't want to hear anything else.
Okay.
Or I'm just trying to avoid it. If it happens, it happens, but I'm trying to avoid it.
Cool. So that was, okay, the headline was that it wasn't. I was like, what's the headline? So it's no longer, it lost to Jurassic Park right now. It's losing.
But it still made $81 million.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, that is
Cool.
a lot of money.
Okay.
All right, last headline. Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, the original in Disneyland, celebrated its 55th anniversary
Oh, nice.
on June 23rd.
Cool.
So, you know what? I'm actually surprised that you said it was cool because you're one to be like, this is a weird anniversary. I don't even know if this is really important, like that kind of thing.
Well, it's definitely weird, but now nothing surprises me when like you guys just celebrated like the 37th of something. It's like a super big campaign. It was like the 37th anniversary. I was like, what the hell is this?
The 37th anniversary of
Epcot or
whatever
something?
it may be. Yeah, it was the 35th anniversary of Epcot.
Yeah, it's weird. It's
Well,
a weird.
That was last year, but
Whatever.
yeah, but anyways. But I think anytime that we're going to celebrate Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room is a great celebration because it was an original attraction to I'm not in a Disneyland original attraction, but it was an original attraction to have animatronics in the attraction.
Okay.
I said that word like 5 times.
Okay.
It's something that Walt Disney himself worked on. And I mean, it's an overall very relaxing attraction.
Yeah.
Air conditioned. First building in Disneyland to have air conditioning. Very important.
Nice.
Speaking of Disneyland, I mean, this is kind of like a personal headline, but you and I are going to visit Disneyland for the very first time in October.
Yeah, it's quite far away.
Are you kidding? It's before my birthday.
Yeah, I know, but that's far. It's
Yeah.
far away. Anyway.
You don't seem as excited as I am.
Because we haven't even planned that, I feel like.
Well, maybe me and my sister are planning it, and you are just not a part of it.
That's fine.
Okay.
What other headlines you got?
That's all I have.
That's it? Cool. So, today's topic.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's such an interesting topic because it's something that you never really, you don't think about it very often.
Yeah.
And you're the one, you and your interesting topics, because this is another Richie topic that, not that he just comes up with the off the wall things, and then I'm just like, huh. So what's today's topic going to be?
So, today's topic is, should you take someone to Disney on a first date?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you sound like you have a bunch of thoughts on it.
I mean, I think that I have thoughts, but I'm really interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. So it's interesting because, like, when I think about it, the two options are, well, I guess there's 3 options. Both are Disney fanatics, right?
Okay.
And that's maybe even how they met.
Yeah.
Or one, the male is a Disney fanatic, or the female a Disney fanatic, or the same, like one of the two of them is a Disney fanatic and the other is not, whether,
Yeah. Whoever it may be.
yeah, whatever the type of gender,
Yeah.
couple. Anyway.
Why did you think it was the woman?
No, I'm just saying.
Because
like,
our
no,
situation.
I'm just saying there could be, 2 women dating and like.
Oh, I see what you
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and it's just an interesting dynamic because usually I would think that the man would like try to schedule or make, arrangements for a first date. Mm-hmm. Right. So
Okay.
he'd be, he'd say, hey, like, do you want to go out with me? Let's go here.
Well, and I'm just thinking about like our specific situation, like when we started dating. So I think you were the one who organized
Yeah.
where we would go and what we would do for our first date.
Yeah. I mean, unless your first date is like by accident, like where the woman or, the other person invites you somewhere and like you didn't even know. You kind of got sneak attacked into a first date.
Oh, I hope.
So that's a possibility. But I don't know. I mean, personally, obviously, I would not take someone to Disney on a first date unless I knew that like that's what they really wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But so like I'm trying to think that, so let's say I'm in that situation, that means that let's just say you were the fanatic of Disney and I knew you liked that, so I'm like, hey, why don't we go here and do this? Mm-hmm. Like that would be the situation, and I don't know if I would do that.
Okay.
Like I'd have to really, I mean, it's a smart move, I would say probably for a gentleman out there, or even the woman that's dating a man. or wants to date a man for the first time that is a Disney fanatic, it would probably make sense if you suggested we should go do that on the first date.
Yeah.
Right? But it wouldn't be my ideal thing to do.
Okay. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm going, let's go back in time to when we didn't have a podcast. We've never gone to Disney together. Like, we started dating in Orlando. Mm-hmm. And I would have never actually thought to have suggested to bring you to Disney. Even though I had an annual pass and I went frequently, I would have never said, hey, do you want to go to Magic Kingdom with me?
Why not?
And here's the thing. Here's I have a list. I thought of this list. So part of it is from a practical standpoint, if the other person does not have an annual pass, it can be an expensive date.
True.
It would be a wonderful gesture
Solid point.
To be like, hey, this is what I want us to do, and I will be happy to pay for your ticket, which is super duper generous. Because I mean, you figure a Magic Kingdom ticket like could potentially cost you, over $110 for one day. So be super, super kind, but I don't know, to make that kind of a statement on a first date, I think it really, really depends on how you feel about that other person, even before you've gone on the first date with them.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And you know what? But then I go back and forth, because here's the thing. When you go on a date, you kind of want to reveal a little bit about yourself, about your own interests, and it shouldn't be like, oh, I'm not going to take them there because they can't know this side of me. Because if you guys do start like dating more long term, then they're eventually going to find out. So why not just get it out of the way?
Yeah. Okay. And pay the $100 and how much is it? Like for one?
It's over $100.
Yeah.
Now.
So like pay like $150 or something for for a first date.
Which it does not include food.
Yeah.
Also.
But what about, there's so many other things on property there that you can do that's like where you don't have to actually go into the park.
Yeah, which is 100% true.
Right, like the boardwalk.
Mm-hmm. So there's restaurants and there are a ton of things to do, especially like in traditional first date things, like going to get a drink or going to have a cup of coffee. Especially now that Disney Springs is really poppin'. Like you could do like a pre-date. Like it'll be a first date, but it'll be like a
pre-date.
Like a preview. And go to Disney Springs and like walk around and see how they feel about it, about how they feel about all the Disney stuff, and be like, oh my gosh, look at this Mickey statue. And they're just like, okay. Then maybe you don't want to go to Magic Kingdom on the second date.
Yeah.
But Disney has a lot to offer also that, like, and specifically in the parks, that, say, going to Disney Springs or to a resort for a dinner won't offer. Number one, fireworks. Mm-hmm. And instant conversation starters. Like, if you're in a park and you're like, oh, we have to go ride Haunted Mansion. Like, oh, let me tell you this about Haunted Mansion. This one time, like, my brother peed in his pants because he was so scared.
Okay. Like
stories, it's just like you have things that you can talk about.
Yeah. I'm just wondering though. I would probably say maybe it's like after a month, that's a solid date. Okay. Or like fourth date. It's a really good fourth date, guys. I would say, but I don't know. The first, I feel like the only way that Disney should probably be like an okay spot for a first date would be one, if like it was convenient because you live super close, because that place is like a maze, right? So it's just cause like all kinds of confusion possibly, and people be late. I said maybe there at 2.
People.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but all right. So 1 is a convenient. 2 is money not an issue because like for whatever reason you guys are ballers and everyone's aware.
And everyone's aware.
Or you both have annual passes. Mm-hmm.
But in which case you would both be Disney people.
Yeah.
Most likely.
So two Disney people, would that be a good first date?
Of course. That would be a great first date. Like, that's a no-brainer.
Is it?
I feel like it really is, because then, like, let's say they go to...
Or is it like too much too fast? That's like a thing too, right? Like, because sometimes, you don't want to jump into, like, when you first start dating, you don't just jump to certain things. And I'm wondering, is Disney one of those things where it's like, oh, snap, like, we're at Disney together. This is real. Like...
It's like you're going to meet the family so soon.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You
like,
think?
I wonder, what I'm asking. Like, I'm wondering if it's similar, like, if it would be similar for people where it's like literally taking them to see your parents as equivalent to like going to like Disney with that person.
I don't know, because like, I think about our situation. If I were to bring you to Disney and it was our first date, and depending on how you react, would it have changed my opinions about you? No, it just means I had work to do.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't mean that, if you don't get along with my Disney thing, then it's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
So I guess it is more from like your perspective. Like, if I were to, let's take the whole buying the ticket grand gesture out of it. Like, let's just say, hey, let's go to Disney. Yeah, like it was a free day for people named Richie.
Okay. Awesome day.
Like, and we went to Magic Kingdom. And like, the first thing I do is like, oh my gosh, I love Main Street. Like, this is like the best because of this, and you could see this. And if I started like going to explain things like that, just start like, see what your take is on it. Like, would you think it would be weird, or would you think it would be so adorable how excited I was?
No, I think I'd probably be weird, right? Like, off the bat. Like, I'm thinking I've never really been to like Disney as like Magic Kingdom as like an adult, right? Like, I don't remember being there like as a grown adult, like without this whole journey. But I can imagine the overwhelming like emotions of like, I'm trying to like impress this girl, and then I also got to deal with like the craziness of Disney.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not sure how cool that would be.
Which brings up something I did want to talk about, is because which park would be the best one for a first date? If you were going to be committed to the situation and be like, wow, I like this person and I want to kind of do something crazy and I want to take them to a park at Disney, which one would you take them to?
Yeah.
Because, and here's some things to think about, because at Magic Kingdom, it can be crowded, a lot of lines, but it's pretty magical and pretty romantic. There's a lot of places where you can sit and talk and have something to, like a quick bite to eat. But then if you go to a place like Animal Kingdom, there's trails that you can meander down. Also fairly romantic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lot of more things to do that you don't have to wait in line for.
I would say it'd be a toss-up between Animal Kingdom and Epcot, but probably definitely not Magic Kingdom.
Interesting.
Because I feel like Magic Kingdom is like, it's too romantic off the bat.
It's too romantic.
Like, I just feel like I would say it'd be too much off the bat.
Yeah.
Whereas I even would lean maybe towards Epcot, only because I feel like it's very like in a friendly type of like atmosphere. Like, you can go there with a group of friends and like, have drinks or whatever. And then there's a boardwalk thing that you can do. So I would probably say Epcot would be the best spot. Because it's not like taking them to the family. It's maybe like taking them to like a outing at the park with friends.
Okay. Well, the good thing about Epcot is there's a lot of variety in terms of dining options. If you wanted to have like a romantic dinner. Oh, okay. Even if we're not doing romantic, there's a lot of options for the vibe of dinner you want to get.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like Animal Kingdom and Epcot have equally their romantic points, even though you say Magic Kingdom's like too romantic. I think that your point of saying it's like if you take them to Magic Kingdom, it's like taking them to the family. I could definitely see that. However, you feel like long lines, kids, a lot more like, I mean, there's children everywhere because it's Disney, obviously, but there's definitely a lot of kids at Magic Kingdom. Does that kind of take away from the romance?
Do the children take away from the romance?
No, just like the crowd level, and yes, the children, I suppose. Yes.
Okay.
But would that take away from the romance level? Do you think if I were to take you there?
I wouldn't. I don't think that would have like an effect on it. I mean, even when I'm there, like I kind of tune that out.
Yeah.
As it is, so I don't think that should. Mm-hmm. You know.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that in terms of romantic parks, I don't know that I would be able to choose which is the most romantic, because I think Animal Kingdom is super romantic.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like it's almost too like, that's why I'm saying like it might not be a good spot for that first date.
Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
So you would go to, because you said you would go to Epcot.
Yeah. So like I initially said it was a toss up, but I'm really heavily leaning towards Epcot.
So you don't think that...
Wouldn't be Hollywood Studios either.
Let me put this out to you though. Like if you are walking around World Showcase, it's sunset, the World Showcase pavilions, all the countries are lighting up, there's live music. You don't think that brings in a romantic atmosphere?
It does, but like in a friendly way.
You see,
like like an initial, like not as like super romantic way.
Okay.
Like in a romantic first date kind of way, yes. And that's why, because that's just Disney in general. Mm-hmm. But I think that for that purpose of that first date, Epcot would be the best spot to do that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like overly romantic.
Yeah.
It's just a tad enough. Plus you have, you can talk about like culture and like there's still a bunch of stuff you can talk about there too. Mm-hmm. Like, and there's all those, different pavilions you can go into. Then there's obviously Starbucks you can hang out at.
Like a traditional like first date coffee.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go get some coffee. Oh, by the way, it's at Epcot.
There's a test track, so if like the dude or woman is like into thrill, they can go do that. Mm-hmm. So that's still there, an option.
Yeah.
So you can still do like that fun
thrilling
thing. Yeah.
True.
So I'm trying to think of what other reasons Epcot's a good choice.
You know what is interesting? Neither of us have mentioned Hollywood Studios.
I within the conversation I said I wouldn't do Hollywood Studios.
Oh, I didn't hear
You
that.
missed it.
I'm sorry.
It's
I missed
okay.
that. Why wouldn't you do Hollywood Studios?
I just feel like it's too all over the place right now. It's in transition. Maybe like when it's like out of transition, maybe. But I feel like there's too much that's going on there that's not like cohesive enough for that to be like a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like Hollywood Studios right now is all over the place. Like you got Star Wars, you got some random roller coaster, like that's like super awesome. But like, and then you have like, I don't know. Then you have the hotel,
the Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror. Like it's just too much. It's just too much random stuff going on. Whereas I feel like Epcot like has it together. It's just like everything makes sense.
It's more generic.
Not as more generic. It's more cohesive.
Well, in a cohesive way, generic.
Yeah.
Because like it's not Disney. It's different countries and World Showcase, and then you have some of the Disney side in all kind of mixed into that, but not all of it is very Disney character focused, Disney property focused, like.
And then you have the view of the ball, like that's super like kind of romantic-y and like but not overly where it's the castle,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Epcot is the ideal place to take someone on a date at Disney. It's
first
official.
date.
Even the third.
Because the first time you and I went to Disney, we were dating for 6 weeks, I believe.
Okay, it's awesome that you know that because I had no idea.
Well, yes. So, was it 6 weeks? It was somewhere in there. It was less than 2 months, though.
Okay.
And we weren't seeing each other regularly because at the time, like, we were actually separated by cities.
Yeah.
So, like, you were still in Orlando, and I had to move back to Miami. And I drove up so we could go to Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you think that was, like, over gesture?
No, but, I mean, our situations is different, though, I would say. Yeah, we can't compare like our particular situation whether that was overly an overly gesture or not, because we were like friends from before. Plus, I already knew like how much into Disney we were. It wasn't our first date.
Yeah.
So.
But if you didn't know how much I like Disney, like, oh, here's a question. Let's say I wasn't the one to suggest that we go to Disney, but you suggested it just because you wanted to be super off the wall and be like, you wanted to impress me maybe. And then all of a sudden, like, I started to know all these Disney facts. How much is too much to reveal?
So the question is, what I'm hearing the question is how much, like, should you tell someone off the bat that you're a Disney fanatic?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, I thought it was pretty, like, interesting. I thought it was what made partly of what was I think part of what made you like a very interesting person was how much you were into Disney.
Really?
And like all the stuff that you were able to describe behind that. So, and I think that people are genuinely attracted to other people that have passions, no matter what it is, like it might be. So I think that because you were able to like show that, I think that's a good thing. So I think that, and that's one of those things where it's like if that's your life, you might as well get it out as soon as possible and figure out if that's going to work or not. So, and I think it's a win-win because one, if it doesn't matter and that person sees how passionate you are about Disney, I think that's a plus in their book. And on the other end, if like they're like, wow, this is not like for me, at least you like got that out of the way.
Yeah.
So I would recommend highly to disclose your Disney fandom.
Like, here, sign this. Stating that you understand how much this is a big deal for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. It would be maybe difficult for me to bring you to Disney if it was our first date.
It would be difficult.
It would be difficult.
Okay.
And now that we've been talking it out for a little bit now, I'm thinking just if you didn't, like, if you looked like you were totally bored, like not having a good time, and had that like expression of like, why are we here? Why did I agree to this? I mean, probably we wouldn't have gone on a second date, but I would have just been like killing myself, like, maybe this wasn't the right decision. Why did I do this? Now I'm always going to have this tainted first date memory in Disney World.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the biggest risk.
That's true.
Like,
actually,
you'll always be like, oh my goodness, this is I remember Norway when he started checking out that other girl and I was super jealous. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? It's just Elsa.
Yeah.
You could see her on TV.
So would you say we're about to conclude our thoughts around this? Because I want to get some final statements from you.
Final statements?
Yeah, like I want to know definitively what your thoughts are as to like, should Disney be a first date for someone? And if so, where? Okay.
Well, final thoughts. I think that Disney, depending on the person, and I mean, depending on the person that you are bringing on the date, it could be a good option because of the general date parameters. There's food, there's fun, there's drinks, there's quiet places to talk, but at the same time, because of what I just said, what doesn't go well and then you kind of have like this tainted memory in this certain spot of a park that you love. Although, here's a positive thing that we didn't mention. If the date's not going well, think about the Disney parking lot. Think about, they can just walk clear across to the other side of the parking lot. There's not going to be an awkward goodbye because they're gone. You could actually walk right back in the park if you wanted to, and they wouldn't even know you're there. And you could just like make that memory, like the bad memory that just happened in Norway or whatever, like gone. All good again.
Yeah.
So, and if I were to do a first date, Animal Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay.
Where we went.
Yes.
Not our first date, but the first time we went to Disney together.
I would say that if you want to go inside of a park, I think like you should highly reconsider unless you're both Disney fanatics. I think ideally it would just be on the boardwalk for the first date, like just on the boardwalk. Especially if one individual is not a Disney fanatic. I feel like it's a good way to get a taste as to what might be, like how they feel about it, because obviously you're already there in Disney, but it's not going all the way in.
Yeah.
So I would do the boardwalk.
Okay.
And then even if you two are both fanatics, I would only do Epcot still.
Which is good because Epcot is walking distance from the boardwalk.
Yes. It works out.
And you know what? Here's another pro for the boardwalk, though, is the boat ride.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff you can do there.
Yeah, it's very romantic.
I thought this through.
Did you?
No.
I feel like you just thought of
I
this.
just did, really. I didn't. I didn't think of it through.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the easy aspect of being able to bring someone to Disney by just the boardwalk, Disney Springs, a hotel, restaurant, whatever, that's easy. I feel like the more difficult decision would definitely be bringing him to the park, which is what I really thought that this was all going to come down to.
Yeah.
So I'm saying yes, bring him into the park, sort of, maybe, but I'm still not sure. And
Yeah, I'm saying probably
don't
not.
do it.
Not a good idea. Stick with the boardwalk.
And I trust your opinion more than mine because I'm like super biased.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, yes, let's go to Animal Kingdom. You want to? Perfect.
You want to. That's funny. Cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, I hope this brought something to people.
Some value.
Some value to people about
Or at least some
if they're in the dating world.
Yeah.
Trying to figure things out. But, we're on all your favorite social media platforms, so we'd appreciate any feedback. Follow us, connect with us on there, and check us out on IGTV. We're hoping that this is going to work out well, but we'll see how that goes. And, Alexa Flash Briefing, we're on there. Medium, Facebook, Instagram.
all of that.
All that good stuff.
All that.
At the Walt Daily.
At the Walt Daily. Yeah. And I think I just wanted to say, as always, thank you everyone so much for listening. Thank you everyone so much for watching and giving us feedback. We really, really do love to hear your feedback so we can make this show and our flash briefings as good for you as possible. So with that, we hope you have a magical day and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.